On today's episode,
on the CEO of you.
And when you say your mission, what is it that you want to achieve, Josh?
The 2023 revolution was led by Codesuite.
So tell us about the company then. What is it that you do exactly, Josh, at Codesuite?
Codesuite is basically the gap between you learning high in-demand skill that can earn you 6 figures in the space of 6 months. It's Forbes 30 under 30 as well. They've dubbed it the #1 skill to learn in 2023 to be coding.
And so, okay, I know that you're passionate in terms of passing it on to future generations. Are you using the same delivery as your dad to get those other people involved?
That was my dad burst into my room one day and he was like, "Yo, what you doing?" I was like, "You need to learn this thing called coding." I was like, "What's that?" Like Mark Zuckerberg and my name in the same sentence, I never would have imagined. It's like do or die. Like if I don't do this, my life is at risk.
welcome to the CEO of you. CEO being the highest ranking position you could be in a company. We believe you are the CEO of your life and you have full responsibility on how you react to situations in your life.
Always remember, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Be the boss. Be the CEO.
Repeat after us. I create my own pathway.
I will be great.
I will be the most impactful inspirer.
Amen.
Hello, Josh. How's it going?
It's good, man. What you lot saying?
We're good, man.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming down as well.
Thanks for having
Straight
me,
from Leicester, Leicester's finest.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it a lot, man. Thank you.
So we have a lot to speak about today. So for us, we already know who you are. So today we're going to be speaking mostly about you. And starting off with the first question. What made you the person you are today sitting in front of us?
It's crazy, you know. I think the thing that made me the person I am today is obviously because of the way I made use of the skill in it. Because of the way I made use of the skill I learned. Because obviously, for those who don't know, obviously through the intro, I'm the founder of Codesuite, and I basically educate the next generation on how to code and then use that skill to make money in it.
Yeah.
Now, due to the fact that I've been able to do that, has made me the person I am today. Because obviously, I capitalized on the skill I learned and then inspired others as well. Do you know what I mean? And obviously that's what's attracted all of this attention, recognition, because as we were talking off the pod, it's a niche.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now, because it's a niche, it's a bit unique, it's a bit different. You know, it's not the most common thing which everyone else is doing. So that's what makes me stand out already. And because I've done it to such a great extent, like I've gone to like 4 or 5 schools now and just rinsing it off for the kids, you know, like
Nice.
spreading it like that. So it's like when people are seeing that, it's like, whoa, what's this guy up to? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then everyone's turning heads. So yeah, man, that's what
That's
brought
hard.
me here today.
That's hard.
Yeah, that's sick. So you said like you want to inspire people, but we want to know who inspired you.
Yeah, good question. So that was my dad. When I was 13 years old, he must have just burst into my room one day and he was like, "Yo, what you doing?" Obviously, I was just on my phone in it, just chilling. And then he goes, "Oh, you need to learn this thing called coding." I was like, "What's that?" Then he starts telling me how they're using it at work, automating bare like manual tasks and stuff like that. So obviously he's like, you know, automation is the future, innit? You want to be able to automate things so that you can delegate that.
Yeah.
And then it's just on rotation like that. And you can focus on something else. And then that's why we then come into passive income and stuff like that. So he's like, "Yeah, learn this. So I'm like, cool, I'll do it, man. Obviously when you're young, excited, all of that energy, it's like, I got to do this thing that I might be missing out on. You know that fear of missing out?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot. It's bigger when you're a kid because it's like, I want to be that guy. You know what I mean? So started learning how to code. I just going through YouTube videos, really. Day in, day out, every time after school, I'd get home. He would be downstairs. I'll be in my room. He would send me a text message. "Are you coding right now?" I was like, "No." "Hop on it now then." So every single day, he would send me a message saying, "Have you been watching videos?" If I have, obviously it's cool. If I haven't, then it's like, you better hop on it. And even when I say I have, I can't lie to him because he'll be like, "Which one did you watch?" Because he's watched all of them too. So he can know if like, I'm lying or not.
Zico too? You're there?
Yeah, he codes as well, yeah. That's the only reason I got into it, because he was coding at work. And then from then it was like, he knows how important it is, especially when it comes to like the company he works at. They're hiring bare freelancers to come code for them and they're paying out racks.
I could imagine.
Thousands.
I could imagine.
And he's seeing this and he's like, if I teach my son how to do this, we're good.
Yeah, you are.
We're good. So obviously learning. Then I included it in my ICT projects. Got an A. Boom. went to A levels, got on A again, boom, got
Mm.
to degree. Then after second year, obviously I went on placement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that was in a way like a gap year. That's when Codesuite just blew off,
Yeah.
and then that's where I ended up, where we are today. But yeah, it literally started from my dad in my bedroom one day.
Shout out dads.
Yeah, shout out dad. So
Dad's Malemba and that, you get me?
Yay!
Big up dads, Malemba.
So obviously you're saying your dad got you into it. So I'm guessing you and your dad have a good relationship, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, would you say you guys are tight?
Yeah, I think especially because of the fact that it's one of them ones where it's like father, like son.
Yeah.
So it's like when your dad brings you in on his trade, it makes your bond even stronger.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And obviously with my dad, it's like he brought me in on coding and it just turned out that I love it. So it worked out really well.
Yeah,
And
that
then
must
it
be
made
great,
us
man.
bond even more.
That's a great
then-
feeling. I could
Yeah.
imagine.
And obviously he's
Yeah.
seeing me in a way do more than him. Because in a way it's like he learned how to code, but he's applying it in the industry.
Yeah.
But he's seeing me apply it in the industry and outside the industry.
Yeah.
So like I got my own customers too, got my business there, got this, that, the other going on. So it's like, yeah, man, you're doing good for your age, you know.
I know your dad's
You're doing
proud.
sick
of
for
you.
it, yeah.
I know
would
your
be.
dad's proud.
So for you, would you say the father figure, having a father figure in your
So
life,
important. Because
important.
it was only my dad that got me into this. With my mum, it's like she's focusing on the nurturing.
yeah,
Get me? With your dad, it's like he's gonna set you the vision.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Understand?
yeah.
Now he set me the vision and was just like, yeah, this is the way. This is what's gonna make money. Obviously, back then, this was like 2015. Nobody knew that it would be such a big thing now.
Yeah, true.
Like the way the tech industry's boomed, yeah, it's like nobody probably seen it back then, but he could see it. And then obviously, moving on like that. So yeah, father figure is so important because they set you the vision, they set you the direction, and they've been there. You know what I mean?
he gave you
So-
that guidance as
give you
well.
that guidance as well, you know what I mean? And it's funny because obviously you see like the masculine ego and that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you can see you're doing good, but it will be like, yeah, you're doing good for your age, But deep down he knows I'm doing bits.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it's like because in a way it's like I'm challenging like what he's done, but he wants me to do better than him. Because everyone wants their kids to do better.
I think
than
that's
them.
how
Of
that's
course.
how that's how
Yeah,
it
that's
should
how-
be.
that's
That's
how
how
it
it
should
should
yeah,
be.
so it's like he'll look at me from far like, you're doing good, kid. But at the end of the day, like
You know,
knows-
deep down,
knows
man's
deep
like,
down.
my son.
Yeah, he's
my
probably
son.
boasting about you. to
Obviously,
his
your dad can
friends,
never
yeah.
say too much to you because if you get a big head, it's long. Do
Yeah, it's long.
you know
So,
what I mean? So
did you have any other like role models or people that you look up to aside from your dad? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that didn't grow up with their dads. Dad's not in the picture for some reason.
it might sound cliche, but besides my dad, the only other person I looked up to was Mark Zuckerberg, simply because with him, yeah, you see the idea of Facebook,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't his,
He was it.
Was
it was his university roommate. So it wasn't his
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
But the difference with Mark is he had the ability to make it happen.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
get? So
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he didn't think of Facebook in his head, but his friend did. But his friend couldn't code, but Mark could. Now because Mark knew how to code, he was the one who made it happen.
So what you're saying is Mark just took his brethren's
Yeah,
idea.
you don't. It's but
Did he
it's,
split? Did he split with him or
I don't
like
know.
say
I don't
bring
really
him
know
on
like
or-
how it followed on from there, whether it got frosty or not. But the difference was his friend had the idea, but he couldn't make it happen.
That is.
But
So you're telling me Mark just
Mark didn't have that idea. He just seen, all right, you got, yeah, we could.
At least he could
boom.
see the vision though,
But
and
he-
then put it into
Exactly.
action.
Now the fact that because
Two
obviously
different
there's a
people there.
quote that says, "Good artists copy, but great
Great
artists steal."
artist
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously he stole the idea, but because he knew how to code, now we're talking about meta today. You know what I mean?
True.
Now when I seen that, I was like, rah. So all you need is just a skill of some sort that can make you do something great, and the rest is yours. Because ideas is all over the internet.
Yeah, it's
Internet,
true.
Google, YouTube, all of that stuff. So all I need to know, let me just pattern code in here, make sure I get to an expert level, and the rest, the world is my oyster. Because
Right.
people always want to. You can probably think of an app idea that you want to make right now, but you don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
But
it's
I do.
true.
If you tell me the idea, it's long. I've got tomorrow, yeah.
He's
Tomorrow
making the
it's
app to
make
unusable.
it.
Do you understand? So that's the approach. That's the approach.
All right, what would you say is the importance of having coding as because it recently is a demanding skill? So, what would you say to somebody who wants to get involved into coding?
I would say the first reason is obviously because everybody needs a website anyway, innit?
Yeah,
And when you talk about having a business, your first way of communicating to the customer is through your website. But how are you going to make it? Code.
True.
Do you understand? Now, obviously, there are websites out there like Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, but due to the fact that they're pre-made tools, there's always going to be limitations.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true,
But
true.
if you know how to code, that's what adds the enhanced stuff. You get me? And
Yeah.
it just makes it more flexible to you. Secondly, like I said, business to business. You know, all these companies, they've got bread to. If you are, they could dash 20 bags down the drain and wouldn't feel it. Do you know what I mean? Now, knowing that these have got bread to spend, they've got money to spend. If you can be that person that can offer the service, you're gonna earn so much money. You know, like the potential of financial capital you could earn is just so much, simply because these lot that work in companies, they don't have technical understanding. That's why they're hiring all these freelancers, because they don't know nothing. Do you understand? Now, if you can be that person that knows the know-how, you're set. Just build a solid team around you. You are good.
I think we didn't ask you at the start, but what exactly is coding for the audience who don't know what coding is?
So coding is basically, how can I summarize it? Coding is basically, I always say it's the closest thing to magic, in the sense of like, you can literally have an idea in your head and you make it real through code. Now, obviously, I say code is like the magic wand. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I have an idea for a website. How am I going to make it? Code. I have an idea for a mobile app. How am I going to make it? Code. So it's like, even your social media and all of that stuff is going to be centered around the platforms you build using code. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that. All these websites you go on, all these video games that you play, it's all built through coding. Everything digital that you look at through any device is built through code. Even this podcast machine that's recording, all of those inputs which you're seeing through the sound, that was built through an embedded system using code.
Yeah.
So how complicated would you say coding is? Like, if I know nothing about coding right now. Yeah, next to nothing. Yeah. So if I wanted to start, how long would it take me to make a website?
It wouldn't be too long as you are learning under a mentor. So obviously, if you're learning on your own, it's obviously harder.
Yeah,
you have
it takes
to figure
longer.
everything by yourself. But if you're learning through a course or a mentor, they're gonna piece all the dots together for you.
Yeah.
And within literally 3 to 6 months, you can become expert and even get hired at Google.
Hired at Google?
That is not even a cap as well. There's so many stories on YouTube of examples. Like
And what's that? 6 figures?
6 figures, yeah, easy.
Six figures easy.
Honestly, yeah. People don't realize that.
Talk to me about
I think it's because of how niche the topic is, so not many people know about it.
Yeah.
But for you to go from beginner to expert, it is literally no longer than 6 months. And you can get hired at Google simply because all these are looking for is evidence to prove your skill. If you have a portfolio to show that you can do the job, you're going to get hired.
You know what
Why
it is
wouldn't
with,
they hire you?
You know what it is with coding? I feel like a lot of people see it as a nerdy thing.
Yeah.
Like, they don't see...
And that I think that's what I'm coming to kind of try, like, change the perspective a bit.
Yeah, to show you can
like,
code and
you can be code and still have your own life. You know what I mean? Like, me as a person, I'm cool, I'm charismatic, like, I'm energetic, I'm no introvert at all. I'm far from it. But it's like, I also just have a high in-demand skill in my assets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Which everyone should have.
Which everyone should have anyway. Do you know what I mean? I feel like before, it used to be a thing where if you focus, or if you're a focused person, it's a geeky thing. Yeah. Or like, why are you so focused for? Like, why don't you just have a bit of fun? I feel like now, as we're starting to get older, people are starting to realize that there's money to be made, you know. There's money to be made.
There's money to be made, and a lot of people still don't realize that.
People don't realize that. Like, put even coding aside, there's so much other skills out there that if you just put your head down, there's so much money to be made. Why? Because the world is not technical. So people are going to pay you so that you can get the job done for them.
It's true.
That's true.
People like to pay for convenience. I always say that you don't pay Uber because it's free. You pay Uber because it's going to solve a problem of getting you from A to B. People are going to pay for convenience. So if they're going to pay you to do the job, let's learn that to an expert level so that we can charge high. Because when you've got a skill, that is in high demand, you can bargain stupid prices and they won't question you. Because to them, you're the expert. Why should we question you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I can sit there and I'll be like, all right, cool. Let's say I'm going to build a code that's maybe it's going to go on Amazon, yeah? Maybe, basically, let me just put it this way. A company reached out, let's put it that way. A company reached out recently and they were like, oh, we want you to build a code that can go on our competitors' websites and get their up-to-date prices so that we can compete with them, stay level with them. I could build that in about 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah, but to these lot, I would charge maybe 15,000. You know, not because it costs that much, but because they don't know that
how much it actually,
they don't know how much it actually costs because they're not technical.
So you
can pull the hood over their eyes a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, these guys that are sitting at home don't realize that learning a skill can give you that power to kind of
actually
pull
know.
the hood over a few people sometimes,
Mm.
especially companies, because companies, that's where the bread is at, man.
Yeah, it's
These
true.
lot, they'll dish out thousands. As long as you can get the job done, they won't question you. As long as they know that, all right, cool, is it still working, lad? Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it's
Fine.
true, it's true,
Fine,
it's true.
bro. Quick 5-minute meeting, I'm out of there. Don't question me.
So,
what I mean?
you know, with coding, could you freelance and code at the same time? So you could be anywhere in the world and just
Yeah.
yeah.
You can work remotely. Even my job that I have right now as a developer, I'm not in the office. Like 3 days ago, I was working from uni actually. I had to be in uni
Yeah.
for lectures, but I was working as well. But they don't know that.
That's mad.
So could you be doing like really and truly for anyone at home working 9 to 5? Could you do a 9 to 5 and then maybe for the other remaining hours, could you be doing coding?
Yeah. So
anyone.
it's like, obviously with me, for those who don't know, I'm at university in my final year. I'm also working as a developer, and I've also got Codesuite going on. Simply because I can work wherever I want to. So
Yeah.
I can juggle all three somehow in my schedule every
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Simply because I don't have to be there physically, because it's a skill that you don't have to be physically present. I always say that when you're going to learn a new skill, think about the skills that you can learn without having to use your physical presence and time to always be there. Let's say you learn a skill to wash cars. It's in demand because everyone needs their car
Everyone needs
washed,
a car
but you got to be there.
Yeah, location bound.
Location bound, do you understand?
This is why I was asking about freelancing and working
understand?
remotely, because a lot of people
Yeah.
want to be in a different country. They want to move, and
Exactly.
like you could move to, I don't know, Africa, Jamaica, Thailand,
Yeah,
wherever.
shout out to JV, you know, because she's my business partner, right?
I was about to say, doesn't JD
Yeah.
do coding?
So we're actually business
websites?
partners. So
Oh,
we've got
yeah.
we've got a couple courses together. Now she's in Thailand right now,
Exactly.
but her whole audience is in UK.
And she's still able to
But she's
work
still able to patent.
and make work.
And she's
and
8 hours ahead, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Not even in the
So-
same time zone.
Yeah, not even in the same
Making
time zone.
bread,
She's still
comfy.
patenting. Do you understand?
Her and Kevin
Comfortable.
living the life though.
They're living their
Yeah,
life for real,
man.
man. Shout out to them for real. But
That's what
yeah,
I'm
man.
saying.
Literally, you're not location bound. You're not even time bound. Because remember, here's another thing. I can be given a project here. Let's say I charge. Let's say that same project of 15,000.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll tell the company, give me 2 weeks.
But
Do it
you,
within an hour.
yeah,
For the next 2 weeks, I'm just doing my own thing. When they're
Still getting paid as well.
hopping on meetings, oh yeah, so basically I'm just trying to figure out this function because I need to make sure the input and output makes sense. I've finished it, bro. Even deployed, it's just waiting there to just click, run, and then it's done.
and you
But
know
it's
what?
like-
Yeah, coding. You can't
Do you
even
understand?
question it, because
But
if you
again,
said
you
that to
can't
me,
question it.
input output,
I'll be like,
yeah,
I'll be like,
all
yeah,
right,
I'll be like,
mate.
bro,
The moment I
cool,
start
we'll wait
getting,
for you.
and again, if I don't want to go too much into detail, I can just mix a lot of jargon. You won't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You won't know what I'm talking about. Do you understand? So yeah, man, I feel like it really you can become the Robin Hood of the industry if you just learn skills like this, because it's like these are not gonna know what you're doing, but you're getting the job done still. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
To a
But-
good standard as well.
To a good standard
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, you have to make sure you still talk the talk. Like, okay, you talk, but also
Walk
do
in the
what you
walk.
said you were gonna do. Don't under promise.
Yeah, yeah.
Or no, don't over promise and don't deliver. No, you have to deliver what you promise. That one is imperative, but it's just the flexibility which it provides you is now a lot.
Yeah.
But make sure you deliver what you said you would deliver, because that one is attached to your reputation. And that.
So would you say coding's also a flexible? You can be very flexible in it, as in you can work whenever.
Yeah, you can work
freely.
whenever, wherever you want. Like, if I want to, I can do a few hours on the weekend as well for a couple more clients if I want to, and earn a bit more bread. But obviously, personal time as well is important to me, so I might not. But whenever and wherever I want to, I can do it. Because again, with code, it's all automated. Do you know what I'm saying? Once you've built it, you just use that template wherever you go. Do you know what I mean? And it's like,
All right, just picking up on what you said. So you said you're working at Codesuite, your own business. You're also doing university, which is crazy. And you're also working a job.
as a developer, yeah.
How do you manage time?
Yeah, to
for
be
all
honest, it is rife. I feel like when the day starts in the week, it just flashes under my eyes. And next thing you know, like I told you, the last time I even rested on the weekend was on the 15th. I checked the date, 15th of October.
That's
That was the
over a
last
month ago.
Saturday. That was the last Saturday I had a lie-in. Not even to just rest for the day, just to have a lie-in and wake up at 11 in the morning. It was the 15th of October, and we're almost entering December now. So it's like it's very tricky to manage time, but
So how do you cope with it? Like,
it's tricky, man.
how do you plan? Like,
Yeah,
your
I
days?
think so. I plan on Sundays, innit?
Yeah.
Plan on Sundays for the week ahead.
Okay.
I have like an imperative to-do list. This to-do list is like, if I don't do this year, my own life is at risk. type of
I'm
thing.
glad you got that mindset.
Yeah,
do or die.
Yeah, it's like do or die. Like if I don't do this, my life is a risk. So I'll allocate my days and obviously time block
I
my
rate
days.
Yeah, true.
So certain days are dedicated to just uni, getting all my assignments, coursework, pattern and done.
Mhm.
Certain days dedicated to obviously going to the office or working. Because obviously I need to, obviously on my job as well. Put it this way, it's like the same demand I have from my clients is the same demand I have from my managers because it's the same job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm working as a developer for clients and also for a company. So
Okay, yeah.
the pressure is the same. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that when I commit to something, I do it fully. If I'm going to work today, I need to put my whole head
And
head
everything
knees
into it.
deep into it and get it done. And then when I'm obviously patterning my clients, pattern it fully. So it's a lot of time blocking. There's no room for procrastination because if I slack at uni, that's my grades. If I slack at work, that's like
your
my next
bread.
promotion at risk.
Yeah.
You know, I want to also progress like in the industry as much as I can while I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to leave soon. I'm not going to be in the industry forever. You know, soon it's going to be Codesuite full time. But while I am in the industry, I want to feel like, nah, I left a good mark. Like, I left a dent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I left a dent in the industry. So I'm trying to promote ASAP, become even in a managerial position by end of next year if possible.
Amen.
I'm chasing it.
Amen.
I'm chasing it ASAP. Then obviously, if I slack in Codesuite, that's my brand. So, and that's also another area I'm earning money. So I can't slack anywhere. So there's no room for procrastination. So got a time block, strict. I waste no time. Every minute counts, bro. Like already as we are here, I'm already calculating minutes. I'm thinking, how am I going to do this next? How am I going to add this next? Do you get it?
Yeah.
So my mind is, I'm on the podcast, but my mind is already in what I'm going to do
On the next step.
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
steps
yeah.
ahead.
I'm
Yeah.
always 2 steps. And that's another thing as well, you know, because if you're not 2 steps ahead, you will get caught up soon.
How do you mean?
Ooh.
In the sense of, you know, when I'm doing something today, I'm
Yeah.
not doing it for today. I'm doing it for tomorrow and the day
And the
after.
day after.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. Yeah, I'm also in a group project for one of my modules at uni. Now, let's just say I was slacking because obviously I'm doing all this stuff.
You're
innit?
doing everything else.
Now, the day I actually sat down and decided, okay, I'm gonna code for this group project. I coded in advance so that this whole week I don't need to even send a message. You can see all my work is on the repository
okay.
drive now.
Yeah.
My name with the timestamps, everything's all there.
Yeah, you done
So
your
it's
bit.
like I don't work for now. I work for now and for tomorrow and the day after, so that I free up time, so that if something unexpected happens, I'm
Yeah.
good for it. Do you get
Okay,
me?
Yeah, that's good,
I
that's
Because
get
like,
it,
let's
I
say
get it.
now, yeah. Obviously, you told me okay to be here for X time, but even if we stay an hour, 2 hours, I've already actually prepared for this to happen. Though I haven't said it, but it's like I'm also prepared if it doesn't go to plan. I did something 2 days ago already, so that I'm good for this moment.
Okay.
So you just always have to be switched on. You just always have to be alert.
I like that.
So what's the importance though of like being 2 steps ahead, like preparing yourself?
You will get caught out because remember, life doesn't go to plan. You know.
Facts.
Let me put it this way: everything you've ever planned, has it always gone to plan? No.
Nah.
So I think I've taken a framework to say, nah, I'm always just going to be 2 steps ahead because you can't be moving loose. You know, like something could just happen. Like let's say as we leave this room, like you could trip on the stairs and fall. That's maybe the next 2 weeks you're out now, out the
Yeah.
game.
It's true.
Did you prepare for that? Do you know what I mean? So it's like now,
the game.
now obviously you've been recording podcasts maybe two times a week, but maybe if you're recording 5 times a week, now that you're out for the next 2 weeks, you got videos ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't
you know
think of
what?
that, did you?
You know what? This is something that we've actually planned on because we were like, oh, we can just record once a week, edit, and then post for the Monday. But then if something goes
What
wrong,
if something happens now?
if something goes
You're
wrong,
caught
we're
out.
We're
like,
the podcast now. We're a week ahead.
Do you
That's
understand?
what I'm saying.
Because you need to remember as well, you see your targets. Let's say maybe your targets is to reach, I don't know, 1K followers by end of the month. Now you get injured on the stairs outside. Now you can't record. Your targets are hindered. But maybe if you had prepared and recorded maybe 5 in advance, even though you're hindered, you got videos ready. You still hit the targets, boom. Oh, you've been injured. I didn't know. How come you've been posting? Oh, we're ready for it. That's why. Get me?
This is
I rate
exactly
that,
what
I
we
rate
plan
that,
to
I
do.
rate that
That's why
mindset.
we're
I
looking
feel
to
like-
aim to record
Yeah.
2 times a week
Yeah.
and just keep it
So
pushing,
like,
man.
always, obviously you aim for your targets, but just keep in mind, nothing ever goes to plan. And that's just the rule of the universe.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever go to plan. So prepare for it so that when it does not go to plan, you're not sweating.
Hey, man.
All right then.
Because let me give you one more. Yeah, obviously
One more,
today,
go on,
like I
go on,
told
go
you,
on,
like I
go on,
told
go
you,
on.
yeah, my assignment is due today, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously it was due at 5 p.m. But even if I don't manage to, I've even prepared for that as well. So I've just, even though I want to hop on it, but it's like, even if it doesn't go to plan, there's a framework in place already just in case.
I like that.
It's just know that nothing goes to plan, because remember, we're not God. You know what I mean? So we don't know what's coming next.
True.
So being the limited beings that we are, let's be a bit precautious as well. Because anything can happen, bro. Anything can happen, bro. It might not, it doesn't even have to be a drastic event. Maybe you might hear news that, I don't know, your friend's getting married and he wants you to be the best man. You can't say no. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah,
now you got to be there for that day, but maybe that day you had something planned. But because you're prepared in advance, you're good. So that's also how, in a way, I make time for my close ones as well. Because though it's still really, really tricky, but because I, in a way, do things in advance, if they want to do something, all right, cool, I prepared for this to an extent.
If you enjoyed this episode of the CEO of You,
Make sure that you subscribe and follow on all social medias, because
this takes us a long way and also helps us to get guests like Josh and many more on. All right, then, so being 2 days in advance,
Yeah.
I like that because, like I said, you're always prepared because you never know what's around the next
Never know
corner.
what's coming, bro.
So, but you're saying you're also doing 3 things at once and you're 2 days ahead. How exactly do you avoid distractions? Because in university, you got the uni life and you know what the uni life is like. So how is it you? And then you also got your friends. You said your friends might call you and be like, "What you doing today?" Your family might be like, "Oh, we got family
X,
coming
Y,
over.
Z.
We need you to be here." So how is it exactly you avoid these distractions and have such a clear tunnel vision to what you're doing?
I think it's firstly because obviously everyone who is at least close to me knows. Everyone who's at least close to me knows what I'm on. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If that makes sense. So it's like, let's say my family first here. They know what I'm on. So it's like, obviously they would want to spend time and stuff like that, but they know that I've got things to do as well. So it's like, it's that mutual understanding that, okay, we want to do this, but at the same time we know that he's got this going on. Do you know what I mean? So it's a mix of both. Now, secondly, that's more when it comes to close ones and stuff. When it comes to distractions, I have a no tolerance metric, bro.
No tolerance.
Zero tolerance. Like it might sound braggy, but I don't get distracted. And that's not even on a bragging level, but I just don't get distracted simply because I don't tolerate it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's only because I've got 3 things to kind of perform at a top level. Yeah. It's not even a thing where I can slack even a little bit, because in 3rd year, that's the most 70% of my whole degree. Yeah. So if I slack there, I'm done for. And it's like, I'm telling these clients that I'm the coding expert. Then I get a 2.2 in my degree. How does that add up? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like everywhere where I put my face, I'm accountable to an extent. I'm accountable for my degree, my job, and obviously my business, because I've got a friend, she even told me that even the way you perform on your job is a reflection of, it will reflect onto your brand, basically. Yeah. And it's like, she's telling me that I need to be in Google within the next 2 years. She's putting mad pressure on me. Either Google or Microsoft. Oof. So it's like,
big companies.
Yeah. So it's like, and she's telling me that simply because I'm doing so much stuff with Codesuite. It's like, your career needs to reflect what you're doing as well.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which I get in it, which makes sense. Now it's like, I just don't get distracted, bro. I just don't tolerate it. I can't. Like, I don't have room to tolerate distraction anymore. Yeah. I feel like before, maybe I could have like procrastinated a little bit here and there, and maybe it wouldn't affect me as much. But now, if I just miss one day, I'm in deep sauce. And that's not even an exaggeration.
So it sounds like you've got like a fear of slacking or failure.
That could be another fear as well, you know. I think. Yeah.
So would you say that's like one of your things, like your fear of failure?
I think a big fear is a waste of time. Ooh.
I think that's the same as
a waste of time.
That's the same of us guys. Yeah, literally same as us guys.
Wasting time. I feel like, and that's not even to say the day. Even an hour wasted is. I feel it. I really do, and it could simply be down to traffic, or there was an accident on the way, or I remember one time I was on the way to work. I was on the way to work. Obviously, I work outside the city, innit? Yeah. Now, I was just coming off the M1 heading to the A453 and my car broke down. I lost
3 hours?
3 hours of the day just trying to get the RAC to come pick me up, bring me back to Leicester, and then relocate me to university instead. Because obviously I had to change up the whole day schedule now.
Yeah.
I could
I can't go
imagine.
to the office no more. So it was like that was 3 hours eating out of my day.
And you couldn't really do much, could you?
And like obviously like because the day was planned, I just carried on with what I needed to do anyway.
Mhm.
So I worked remotely, but from uni. if you
Okay,
get me.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's like those were 3 hours of lost bread I could have earned. That's one thing. 2, if I knew my car would have broke down, maybe I could have scheduled that day to be in Leicester instead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, because I'm 2 steps ahead,
You was already nice.
I was
Yeah.
already kind of because I'd recorded bare socials beforehand. So my social media was already good. And then I just added an extra day later in the week. So it was calm. But
Okay.
those 3 hours in the moment, I was very, very like anxious and like on edge because it's like I need these things are waiting for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely say a big fear is time wasting. Time wasting is because time waits for no man. You know,
It's true, and you'll never get time back.
time waits for no man, and you're paid according to the time you spend to do something.
I think
Whether that's clients or jobs, you have to exchange your time for money a lot of the time, especially at
A
this
lot of
time
the
which you're at. So it's like if you're losing time, you're losing money as well.
I think it's the same with us. Like recently, as I've spoke about in the podcast before, we recently packed up our PlayStations to get rid of it because I think your time reflects on who you are. So what I'm saying, so if you spent your time wasting it and just chilling, laughing, partying, smoking, you're gonna see it on your
You're gonna see
Yeah.
it
in your
reflect.
image and see it on your
Yeah,
life. So
that's true.
I'm glad you said like because you spent so much of your time either working or at university or studying, it's literally reflected your life and who you are. And I'll give you an example. For the people I know, Josh was recently in the BBC?
BBC, yeah.
And also the Leicester Live.
Mercury News, yeah.
What else?
Big. That's big. What else? What else?
What
has
else?
happened?
Because
What
I know
else?
there's more.
I know you've been killing
He's
it.
burning
so.
inside. He's like, let me
killing
speak.
it.
There's one more in it. Or not one more, but
Tell
Um,
us.
there's
Tell
a
us. What's
few
the one
more.
more? What's the
Tell
one
us
more?
all.
so for those of you that study computer science, you will of course know that your degrees are accredited by the BCS. Now, if you go on the BCS website, I'm all over there. So I've been recognized by them as a credible inspirer in the industry you can learn from as well.
What else did they compare you to? Because there's a certain
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah,
There's a
so-
certain
yeah.
somebody they compared you to.
Say it,
So
man.
obviously,
say it.
when I
Say it,
featured
man.
when I featured on the BBC, they said I'm Leicester's answer to Mark Zuckerberg. Now, obviously, for those who don't know, Mark Zuckerberg founded Facebook, who we know now today as Meta. Now, to be compared to such a coding mastermind like that is insane. Do you know what I mean? And it puts
Yeah.
a big weight on your shoulders to live up to as well.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. But again, all of this recognition, attention, it only comes because there was a time when you was a nobody, but
Yeah.
you trusted the vision. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been doing this since May last year, and I only really started to get attention, I would say May of this year, May, June this year.
Okay.
So that's a whole
year.
12 months of just nobody knowing you know. But I knew who I could be, and I just stuck to it. But that was 12 months of just grafting. And in a way, you try locate yourself in certain situations so that people recognize you a bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my man. Oh, yeah, that's him. Oh, that's Codesuite. Oh, yeah, that's him. And
Yeah.
you get conversations building. And then when I featured on the news, that was like the biggest PR move I could have ever done this year.
I bet your mom,
Then-
dad was gas. Like, that's
Mate,
my
yeah.
son,
It's
Joshua.
It's mad because the day before I featured on the BBC, I featured in the Leicestershire Live first. It
Yeah.
was just an article. And then 2 hours later from featuring, I got an email from BBC Radio.
What?
And they were like, oh, we want you to feature on, we want you to come on BBC tomorrow. You free? As if I was going to say no. Bro, I would call off anything to go
Yeah, I
on
was
the
about
BBC.
to say.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm free. But I didn't respond immediately because when I got the email, I thought it was a scam. I thought, you see, because I featured in the article, I
Yeah.
thought maybe you're going to start getting spam emails because your
Oh,
name
okay,
is
I
up
could
there.
imagine. Yeah.
I thought maybe it's going to be like that. But then when I copied the name onto LinkedIn and I saw the accolades of the person who emailed you, I was like, nah, this is real.
No,
This
it's
is real.
matching up.
Then
Yeah.
I called my dad immediately. I was like, Dad, I was like, yeah. It's like, obviously, you remember how I featured in the article? Yeah. I'm going on the BBC tomorrow. I was like,
Bro.
the BBC was like, yeah. These lot were happy, man. Like, obviously, they came home, congratulated me and that.
I bet
That's
your
when
dad
they
was
started
just
to see-
I
like,
bet your dad was most
you're doing
proud.
well, son.
It was
He
mad.
just kept
It
it
was-
cool. You're doing
It
well.
was when I went live on the BBC, he tuned into the radio and was streaming it with his colleagues as well.
Nice.
Nice. You know what? I show off
I know
my
he's
son.
proud. He's like,
Show
yeah,
off-
them ones-
that's
look at my son.
Yeah, it was a mad thing. But it was like,
That's
it's one of
hard.
them ones like, to get that attention, it took so much consistency and seeing days when it felt like it's probably not gonna work,
Yeah.
and still telling yourself, "Nah, we're gonna get through this," you know. Because again, like I said, coding is a niche, and to make people see the importance of it, you gotta stick to it, bro. To a point where people actually understand the message, and then it's wrapped.
Yeah. So when you like had all this attention on you, did you ever like worry or fear about imposter syndrome?
Oh, that's a good.
Did you ever like feel
Could
like
imagine.
you shouldn't be where you are? Because
Shouldn't
like you
be,
said, like you said, it's a small niche. You don't when it's a small niche don't really you don't really hear a lot about them.
Yeah.
But for the attention and spotlight to be on you, how did that make you feel exactly?
Yeah, I think it put a lot of pressure on me at the start because it was like, right, I actually need to live up to this title, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being compared to Mark
Mark
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, like,
That's mad.
Like Mark Zuckerberg and my name in the same sentence, I never would have imagined.
That's crazy because your name holds such
The
a
name holds
crazy value.
and it's crazy, you know. So it was like, right, I actually need to live up to this. And it's like, up until that point, I was just a placement student. Like, okay, I'd done 2 years at uni, and I've gone to placement. Besides that, it was like, how can I really live up to this? Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Codesuite was booming in that. I was like, how can I live up to this? But I always knew that if you ask me to do something, I can do it. Like, if I tell you that I do X, I actually can do X and more. Do you get me? So I will never lie. Do you know what I mean? But having the whole world look at you, like, the amount of people that tune into the BBC every day is crazy.
Yeah, it's
Do
crazy.
you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's a bit. But again, having confidence in my skill. So I took my perspective off of me, the person, and I focused on my ability. And when I look
Okay.
at my ability, like not on a bragging thing, but I know what I'm doing.
Would you
know?
say like because a lot of people they get a craft, they don't really master it. They just go on to a next craft. Would you say you've kind of like mastered your craft? And you get what I'm saying?
I would definitely say that I've gone to all lengths. Let me just put it that way. Like, I'm not a beginner, and I'm not.
No way.
Nah.
Yeah, and I'm not,
No way.
and I'm not no novice either. Like, I'm not. I've been in the industry for 2 years deep. Like, we're talking years, and this is not coding in the industry. I've been in the industry for 2 years. I'm not talking about coding. Coding, we're talking 9 years probably. Do you know
Just
what
tell
I'm
him one more time. Tell him one more time.
Josh ain't playing.
You've been doing this, bro.
Yes, I've been doing this, and obviously we're going to be talking 2 years now in the industry, and then obviously coding in general, we're talking 8-9 years. So it's like I've been around. You know what I mean? I've been around. It's just now that you're seeing my face, but I've been around for years. Do you get me? Like, from school days, my teacher knew that this guy, because I was the only guy in my IT class that knew how to code as well. And to the standard that I could.
For real?
Generally. All these lot were learning how to code, but I could code.
Okay,
Do you
that
get
makes
me?
sense.
Like, I was the guy that, when you're like, he already knows.
Yeah, when you're stuck.
So when these
Go
lot
to
are
Josh.
learning, I'm there like, it's raps for me, bro. Do you get me?
Do you remember in IT, they must have been trying to teach us how to code one time. And I can't lie, but code was going so well. I messed up one thing. And the whole thing just, it
messed
went
up.
left. And I said,
when you learn how to
coding
code,
ain't for me, man.
Yeah, when you learn how to code it, you gotta have attention to detail. Like,
Yeah.
obviously at my job,
Isn't it like one step?
not
and
even
it just
one
messes
step.
up
You
the
see,
whole thing.
if you put a comma in the wrong place, the whole code will break.
Yeah, the
whole
whole thing.
code
the
like
messes
that.
whole
up.
thing. And when I say the whole code, the whole platform.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing,
and I'm trying to go back and fix it.
and you can't.
I couldn't
you
fix
might
it,
not
bro.
even
So
be
would
able
you
to
say-
find
I was like, I'd have to start again, but it took me the whole hour to do it. And I said, nah.
So would you say like coding, your attention to detail has to be
it needs to be to the T.
to the T.
Yeah. So it's like I can be stuck on a problem. It's funny because with coding, it's not based on your experience level. It's just based on your attention to detail. Like, there's problems I run into. I'll show it to my senior colleague and he can't find it, but then I find it shortly after. Not
Okay.
because he's more experienced, but because my attention to details may be more switched on in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get me? So, because at work we're building platforms with like hundreds of thousands of lines of code, and it's like within one day you might submit a code of like 500 lines, just like that. Get me? So your attention to detail needs to be sharp. So like, and it contributes back to always having that switched on mindset. You just always switched on, always 2 steps ahead, always like you just know what's happening and what's going on. You've got the whole overview of the picture.
So like, how long would you say it takes to code? Because I've seen like some websites and coding, like some of them will say, yo, it takes 5 minutes to get this simple change. Some of them they're like, nah, this take me.
Wait,
a
how
while.
long? How long to just code in general?
Yeah, it's code in general.
It depends on the project you're working on. Because obviously, if you tell me right now,
I've got a website for you to
Yeah, I've
code.
got a website for you to code.
How
That
long?
could maybe take a couple of days, few days, depending on how simple or hard it is. If it's like maybe you've got 100 products you want to go on the website, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If it's a mobile app that's gonna go viral on the app store, maybe talking a few months
Yeah, I
because we've
couldn't-
got to get the
Yeah.
vision right, the project overview, everything. If I'm at work, obviously you split into tasks. Obviously, just a couple hours and a few hours.
Okay.
If it's for myself and my own clients, again, couple hours. It just depends on what it is, because especially when it comes to building projects like apps, websites, we're talking, because you want to get to the standard that people want it to, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk at the very least a few days to a couple of weeks. But if it's just a task, a coding task, let's say the Amazon scripts, just a little robot that can go on Amazon and buy stuff for me and resell, that can just be a couple hours. You know,
What, just create like a bot?
it's a bot,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much.
That's hard.
So-
you can create bots. It's like
I created a bot last night and I've released it on the Patreon. Obviously, today's obviously for
It was
like
just like
yeah,
that.
just like that.
yeah. Obviously, it's like Black Friday and stuff like during the season, innit? So it's like I made a bot for my clients so that they can use that code and go on Amazon and buy stuff on discounts.
That's hard.
Yeah,
So
that's
so,
sick.
so like you could make a code just be a bot with
Yeah, just
saying
be a
like
bot,
yo.
yeah. Last week, I made a bot for crypto.
And what does that
crypto
bot do?
trading. So that bot is basically
that-
supposed to connect to the Binance platform, and then you can implement your own trading strategy so that it can trade for you.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
that's sick.
That's
Still,
it.
I did that last week.
so that's what you be doing.
Yeah.
Ah, this guy's like, oh, this guy's making money. This guy's making
But you see,
money.
obviously,
That's
the thing
hard.
is, yeah, with trading, obviously, it's higher risk, as we know, in it,
Yeah.
cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
volatile. So when you're building trading bots, if you want it to make you money, it needs to be very low risk strategy you're implementing.
Yeah.
So obviously, that means the money you're making is also reflecting that it's low risk.
Yeah.
So maybe like a little few pounds here and there, but it just increments over time.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
obviously
you're not the one doing it.
You're not
innit?
touching it. You're just letting it build. So you can't implement a mad strategy and not look at it. You have to be. You have to be attention. You have to give your attention to it. But if you're gonna know that you're not gonna even look at it or even touch it, low risk.
Low
Yeah.
So
risk.
I basically built a low risk trading bot. I built two: a basic version and an advanced version. If you're obviously advancing your trading knowledge, you can watch the advanced one. If you're a beginner, watch the beginner one. It's all there, man. So yeah, obviously this month has mainly been building bots, building blockchain tokens, and then selling it on the market as well. Crypto crowdfunding, developing a token so that you can get investors as well. Because bro, coding, yeah, it's not just at your job. It's not just for clients. Even in all these other industries like crypto and investing and stuff like that. Let's automate it, man. All you lot that talk about passive income.
Yeah, this is
Where
the
do you
way.
think it starts?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like I'd rather have 3 or 4 codes or bots that are accurate,
Yeah.
that can even make me even £10 each. I at least know that that's my fuel for the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For
yeah,
example.
yeah.
Obviously you claim it on the business expenses, but you know what I'm saying.
So,
You know what I mean?
so
But yeah.
pulling it back to websites, how do you like go about charging your clients? Like, is it per day rate or per hour, or is it just a whole project?
Whole
Like,
project. Yeah.
but how do you come to that?
Conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
So
First it
like,
depends.
it's gonna take you a week, but how many times in that week do you actually work on the website?
Good question. Yeah. So first it depends on, obviously I price it on the project, yeah, but it depends on the caliber of the client.
Mhm.
Let's say, just giving you a radical
yeah,
example.
give us an example.
Let's say Argos popped up to me and said, "We've seen your stuff and we want a website."
My
You best
ex-employer.
believe
Yeah.
it's not less than
Ex-employer.
20,000. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, if just a regular, let's say a regular person wants to release a clothing line,
Yeah.
and then maybe he's only got 10 products.
Yeah.
I'll still price it per project, but it's a lot less complex, and the caliber of the person is a lot more average.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to consider his budget as well. Because remember, you need to work according to.
Yeah.
You wanna work together in it. I don't want to just. I'll
Give
only
you a
wash
set
out your
price.
wallet. I'll only wash out your wallet if I
you're a
know that you're
business.
that kind of person,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
If you're a company you're turning over racks and racks and racks, then you best believe that we're washing you out. You know what I mean? But if it's an average individual, yeah, obviously we price it to the project. But how hard will it be? If it's only a week long, okay, we price it accordingly. It just depends on what works for both of us.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear
Yeah,
it.
but always
That's great.
remember, yeah, if you learn a skill, chase those clients that have the bags, and that is the companies, bro. Business to business
Mhm.
is where you earn the most bread. Believe me, I've seen it, bro. I've seen
You
it.
seen it?
Yeah, we've seen it, bro. And it's like, when you're it's funny. It's funny because I was at uni one time, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like doing this, but sometimes because of like the environment, you have to. When I have a really important meetings where we're crunching numbers, I like to get the private study rooms. But for some reason, all of them are booked out. So I had to go to the computer lab.
Yeah.
And obviously other students are in there as well.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm crunching numbers with the person on the call.
Oh, and
And there's
everyone.
students around me.
Like
and it's
looking,
like,
thinking,
they're
yo.
all turning heads like, did this guy just say 40,000? And it's like, obviously, I'm talking seriously. Like, they're looking at my face thinking I'm actually serious, innit?
Yeah,
I'm
straight
talking
face. Like,
to
yeah,
the guy,
40K.
straight face, like, yeah, we're going to do it for this. And obviously, at the end of the week, we'll make sure that we'll invoice you, da-da-da-da-da. Obviously, I'm just seeing people turning heads, and it's like,
Has anyone ever come over?
no, a couple of people have came over. Like, what do you do? It's like,
Just
I cold. I
cold.
cold. Yeah.
But
Obviously,
obviously, obviously it's like, you're crunching numbers, yeah? And it's like, because that's where the money's at. It's these companies, isn't it? Because like I said, they're not technical. So they don't know how much something really costs, but you do. But obviously, because you know you can get the job done,
Yeah.
you add a few extra zeros on the end.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Now, again, that's what happens when you learn a high in demand skill. Now, obviously, I was in the room there. I was trying to keep my voice low, but it just wasn't happening. I was just trying to get off the meeting ASAP because I was just feeling awkward. Because it's like, this is the problem with people that go to uni, that they don't realize that that is a time to reach that level as well.
Tell them
Yeah.
about uni. Tell the
Yes.
people what they should really and truly
Yeah,
be doing
because
at university.
people at university, innit, obviously, a lot of the time is they go uni, they go home, and then it's like, all you can think about is clubbing and then getting hungover on the Sunday morning.
And new
But
clothes.
all that time that could be used, yeah, because you will never get this free time again. When people say those 3 years are the best 3 years of your life, it's not because of the nightlife. It's because of the money you could make. Like, think about it. Your parents are sending you away to uni at some next city. You're coming back empty-handed.
Yeah,
You can't even. You ain't even got a bit of money to show for yourself. Like, that's
Yeah.
not good.
it's true.
Do you know what I mean? Now, I try hammer on all these students to basically say that use this time, even the degree you study, find a way to monetize it somehow. Monetize that knowledge. Not everyone's studying like you know. So you're already incrementally better than the average person who's out there in the world. So use that knowledge you've learned to make money somehow. You don't even need to be rich. Even if you know that you're making £10 extra than the average person, that's progress, you know. It's 1% every day, £10 every day for 365 days in a year. Do you
That's
understand? That's
Sweet.
pretty nice, you know. We're already talking 30 bags. So it's like, just think about it. Make as much use of your time as possible. Because free time, like I said, time is money. Do you know what I mean? People can think that, oh, it's an extreme mindset. But trust me, when you graduate, yeah, money is not waiting for you. Like, there's not going to be a wad of cash on the table, be like, yeah, this is yours because you did your degree. If anything,
true.
it's the inverse.
Yeah, it's true.
You've
It's
been-
true.
Do you know what I mean? Because in a way, you're 3 years out of the game. While there's people that didn't go to uni, they weren't tracing money straight away.
Yeah, it's true.
So
in
they
a way-
probably got work experience in the job you're
So
doing.
in a way,
and got your
yeah.
job.
So in a way, you're actually 3 years out the game. And this is me. I'm a uni student as well, by the way.
This is what ours was saying last week, though.
Yeah, he
Like,
was.
yo, you
I'm
can't-
a
it's-
uni student as
yeah.
well, by the way. And I'm saying that if you go to uni rather than chasing money straight away and heading into the industry, you're in a way 3 years out of the game. So you're just gonna get your degree and just come out and just think that
Things
money's
are
gonna be waiting
handed
for
to
you.
you. Nah,
You've been 3 years out of the game from someone else who's maybe done 3 years in apprenticeship, for example, or 3 years focusing on his business. So you're
Yeah.
3 years in negative direction to this guy or this girl. Do you get me? So it's like,
Wow.
while you're at uni, let's make use of the time, because really and truly, if you're not making use of it, you're 3 years out of the game when you graduate. Don't look at that certificate and think you're good. You're not good. You're 3 years in deficit of experience, money, and just like opportunities in general, because you didn't
Yeah.
make use of the time.
So do you know how you're talking about you was in the room talking about 5-figure deals? I don't know if you want to talk about this on camera, but would you say you're making 6 figures a year or on your way or close or
Let me put it this way, right? By the end of next year, I don't see why I shouldn't be on 6 figures. Let me just put it that way. Like,
Amen.
that's
Amen.
not
I
even
pray
on a
you
bragging
do.
thing, but that's simply because of the partnerships I've established now and the relationships I've established and the way I am right now and the way we're looking to turn next year. It's long. Let me just put it that way.
I
It's
could
long.
imagine.
All right, talk to the
Because
people.
I see you, man. You're doing
It's
your
long.
thing for
It's
real.
long, innit? It's long. Let me just put it that way. Because again, like I said, we're talking automated passive money. That's through bots. And we're talking my job. That's paying good bread, you know.
And uni will be finished
Then
next year as
obviously-
well.
So you'll have more free time.
Yeah, more free time. And then obviously my business is obviously turning in money as well. So it's like all of these avenues make a pretty decent amount of money, you know. So let's just leave it there.
Yeah,
innit?
that's great,
But
man.
let's just say that it's just not. It doesn't phase me anymore compared to before.
Okay.
Like before, you would see a bit of money and it's like, whoa. But now it's like, oh, it's another one to add to the account.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
It
hard.
just adds to it. But
Don't
it's
say
like,
too much.
but when
HMRC are
when you
watching.
when you
That's it.
when
HMRC
I feel like
watching.
when you go beyond a certain threshold, it's like money becomes less of a necessity. It becomes more like an asset.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean
Nowadays-
by that?
In the sense of, how can I put it? It's like, you see, before you reach a certain financial threshold, it's like, oh, I need money.
Yeah.
But when you go beyond a certain threshold, it's like money is always going to be there.
Okay, so you
Like,
ain't
you have an
you ain't
abundance
gotta worry.
mindset. You don't need to worry because it's like it's always there.
So what
Like-
does so exactly does like money mean to you?
You know what? Yeah, I thought about this a little bit more. Yeah, but for me, obviously, like I said, money for me is an asset, innit? It's a tool. Let me put it that way. It's a tool
Yeah.
to get to the next stage or to the next. Because obviously, when you take a bit of money and reinvest it, you're progressing yourself in the right direction to a certain extent. Let's say you
Okay.
take a bit of money and put it into, let's say, an investment fund. Later down the line, you're going to have a bit more money than you would have if you spent it. That's one way. A second way, if I reinvest my money back into my business, better equipment, better quality staff because I'm paying higher for better quality people. So then my business performs even better and attracts more clients to me. So that's what I mean by asset. I can use it for my own personal value. It's not just a necessity anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not a thing where I need money to survive. It's more an asset I can use to better myself.
So for the people at home, what exactly is Codesuite? And what does Codesuite do?
So Codesuite is basically the gap between you learning a high in-demand skill that can earn you 6 figures in the space of 6 months, essentially. Because obviously, as you said in the beginning, of course, we know Forbes 30 under 30 as well. They've dubbed it the #1 skill to learn in 2023 to be coding. So what Codesuite does is the bridge from bringing you from no knowledge at all to expert level within a short span of time, and then onboarding you into the industry or doing whatever you want to do with that skill. As long as you want to make money, that's the ambition. So what we basically do, we educate the next generation on coding. We've got online courses. I've also got a Patreon where we basically release video tutorials, articles, and we also give you access to the complete code so that you can download it
Yeah.
Okay.
and run it on your own machine. Yeah, so there's 3 levels in the Patreon. There's basic, middle, and advanced. So basic, that's just like articles explaining, let's say, how do you make a crypto trading bot? I'll just write the steps, but it ends there. For the middle, I write the steps and I give you the code for the bot as well.
Okay.
And for advanced, it's not only the code, but you also have a video of me explaining the code. So that you know
Okay.
what you're doing, you know how to like run it, set it up, all of that stuff.
Do they have like contact with you as well? Like let's
Yeah,
say-
they can message me whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Even if
that's
you-
nice.
Yeah, so obviously the Patreon platform has a messaging system in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can reach out to me, and even on social media. Obviously, I prioritize my clients in it. So if you're an existing client and you message me, you know I got you. So yeah, that's all we do, man. Just finding ways to educate you on a high in-demand skill. Now the Patreon, it's like a way of, it's like a fast track, if I can put it that way. Like I just give you stuff which you would want to know. Of course, everyone would want to know, how do I make a trading bot? Boom, videos all there. Source code is basically access to the code. That's how we say it in the industry. So the code is there, video of me explaining it, and you got access to me to help you out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, not everyone wants to know. Of course, you have to learn the fundamentals anyway, but everyone wants to know the exciting stuff. So let's just say the exciting
What's the
stuff.
exciting stuff? Yeah.
For example, trading bots, how to make a mobile app within, 2 hours. Everyone wants to know how to be able to do all of this stuff for themselves. That's where I am. You find all of that stuff with me. So
He's
That's
talented.
what
Where did they find that?
So obviously, if you go on patreon.com/Code Academy, that is my Patreon platform. You can obviously find me on social media, Codesuite on all platforms. Instagram is Codesuite with an underscore on the end. Yeah, man, you know where to find me. Codesuite on all platforms, basically. Innit? Yeah, you'll catch me there. And obviously, that's where I'm educating the whole generation on how to learn how to code.
Cool.
So yeah, man.
A bit off topic with that, but you mentioned your clients and messaging. Do you know what your screen time is?
Oh, you know what? Good question, you know. I don't. don't even monitor it. Why? Because it would be unfair. Because my business actually runs through my phone. Obviously, I've got my laptop as well, but a lot of the time, like, let me put it this way. My phone is like my bloodline to keep my business running. Obviously, contacts, connections, client outreach as well. So it would be unfair if my screen time is high to tell myself I need to cut it down, because really and truly, if I cut it down, I'm cutting down maybe my next deal.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
makes
tricky.
sense. Yeah,
Maybe if I had 2 phones, then maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's high. Let me put it that way.
All right.
16 hours anyway.
Recently, obviously, we've been checking out your Instagram, so that's how we've found out a lot of stuff you do.
Right.
Another big thing is we're seeing using contact with the mayor.
Oh yeah.
The mayor, was it Mayor of Leicester?
Mayor of Leicester, yeah.
How does that feel? 'Cause that's a crazy achievement.
Like I said, you know what,
to be
First,
recognized.
obviously, like I said about the money thing, it's like there's certain things that it doesn't phase you anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like you're doing it so regularly. So it's like, even with the people I talk to, I could talk with Mark Zuckerberg today and I won't be phased. And that's like on hand on heart. I won't be phased anymore, because it's like in my head, I'm already there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, because in my head I'm already there. When I chat to you, it's like, oh yeah, this is going according to plan anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I was talking to the mayor, in simple terms, I was just pitching Codesuite, and I was like, yo, I'm a local geezer, just like you.
Hey.
I'm a local geezer, but I'm doing all of this. Like, you ain't find no one else like me. Who do you know that's doing this like me? So it's like, you kind of need to, because I'm talking to the mayor, innit? I had to dish out my accolades like flies. BBC link, Leicestershire Live link, BCS link, UK Black Tech link, POC and Tech link. Links after links after.
You
just,
know, like that?
the whole email was just, like, half of it was just URLs.
Yeah.
Of, you can find me here, find me there, find me here, find me there, just so that he knows that I'm credible in it. And then,
Did you have a conversation with him?
Yeah, what did you say?
so
Yeah, how did that go?
obviously with him, he's a busy man, and obviously I wanted to get him on call, but it stayed on email. But that was enough for me, because he busted me with a mad opportunity that's coming next year anyway. But let's just say that
Can you speak on that?
a little bit. I'll try to talk a little bit, but in simple terms, I'm going to revamp the whole of Leicester. The
What?
whole of so Leicester's going to be a different city in 5 years.
All coded by
God
who?
willing.
Man said
Like, you see
Leicester's
way
the
we
new
talk
London
about,
now.
Yeah. You know the way you talk about London to be the tech hub.
Yeah.
Leicester soon, it will be like the innovation hub. Obviously, now IBM have got a centre there. That's already a good start. But I'm going to accelerate a few things, if I can put it that way, just to leave it in the air like that.
So for anyone wanted to get involved and take advantage of, if Leicester is to become the new hub place, what should they do? What would you tell someone?
As long as you get in contact with me, that's all that's needed. But let's just say a lot of things are coming in a sense of, I'm trying to revamp Leicester to become a city that's a bit more recognised. Because in general, when I told you lot that I'm from Leicester, you lot were like, who's even from there?
Yeah, it's true.
You don't know nobody
from
from
Leicester?
that place. So it's like putting Leicester a bit more on the map for what I do, because my story is inspired a lot of people. So I want to use that as an advantage to be like, yo, let's change the city a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I was talking to him on email, it was a thing where he actually came to discover that, whoa, there's someone in Leicester doing something as big as this. So we got talking, and then he connected me with the head of tech at De Montfort University. I can't say too much, unfortunately, because it's not public yet, but started talking with them for a little bit. And then there's another organization I've now established a collab with, also in Leicester. They're focusing on like reskilling people in the city of all ages as well.
Okay.
So let me
How do
just
you
put,
mean?
in a sense of, if you want to, let's say you're 30 years old,
Yeah.
maybe you're working in Sainsbury's, but you want to better yourself and learn a technical skill so that you can improve your situation.
Yeah.
They would go to that organization.
Oh,
And let's just say that
okay.
I'm kind of
And
coming
you're-
under the
Yeah,
hood as
nice,
well now.
nice,
Do you get me?
yeah.
So it's like, again, I can't say a lot just yet, but let's just say that we're trying to revamp the whole city and just make it a better place. You get me? Even when you talk about the economy and stuff, bro, we are down bad, you know? So if we can start changing a couple things, it's good locally. And obviously, like, if you can be your local hero before you start preaching elsewhere, it's good. Because obviously, I've done a lot of stuff in London already. And it's like, a lot of the time, people like to see what you're doing in your own city first. So I thought, cool.
Leicester.
Found the mayor of Leicester's email. I was like, yo, this is what I'm trying to do. Explained my whole vision. He was like, cool, it's raps. Put me in contact with Mr. X, Mrs. Y, and XZ.
Hey.
Got things cracking. So 2023 is going to be a good year, you know. It's going to be a very, very good year for the city. We'll see how things go. Let's just leave it there, innit?
excited.
man.
I'm excited to see what you're gonna
That
say.
sounds,
man.
that sounds good,
Definitely.
especially if you're talking about improving your own city, and then like you could be a city
think-
hero.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I like doing what I'm doing, because I'm not just doing it for the money, but it's also for the impacts. Do you get me? Like I know that I was that guy that when I was given the opportunity, I took it and I saved the city.
Yeah,
Like, you know when we talk about Superman,
Yeah, Leicester Superman.
Leicester
Yeah,
Superman. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
I rate that.
that's how we're gonna do it. So yeah, man, that's the direction we're trying to take things for the next 5 years. Just let's save the city, and then maybe from there you might even see it branch out into the economy when connections from other cities start getting connected as well. You know, you could literally save your whole country simply because you took one opportunity and ran with it, and it's crazy. But I think when certain opportunities start linking together, it starts to become more realistic. Like, I might be able to do this.
yeah.
Obviously, at the beginning when I started, I didn't think it was going to be to this scale. But
And then
now that
doors
we're
started
here, it's
opening.
like, I could actually do this. And then, boom. And that's another thing with potential, you know. You never know your potential till you put yourself in that scenario where you're uncomfortable. Believe me, I was not comfortable doing this at the start. When I did my first school projects of going to school and handling kids in year 9, it was hard.
Nervous.
And after, not only nervous, but after my first one, I messaged my boy, I said, I'm never doing this again. Never
Why
doing
is
this
that?
again. It just took a lot of energy out of me. And it's like, for you to inspire, that's energy. Like, not to get too deep, but it's like, when you're inspiring someone, you're passing off energy onto people.
Yeah.
Now, in a way, it's like, after you're doing it, and it got a bit exhausting. And it was like, I need to take a step back. Because these are kids as well.
Yeah.
I'm inspiring, I'm educating, I'm entertaining, I'm doing all of that. And I was like, bro, this is taking a lot out of me. And again, that imposter syndrome came into play because it was like, okay, I'm inspiring, but am I really meant to be here? Because I was only like 2 weeks into it and I managed to secure something somewhere.
Okay.
So it was like, I'm only 2
I'm
weeks
rocking
deep.
with it. I'm rocking with
Yeah,
it.
now I was, but it was like, don't know, man. Don't know if I want to do this again. Then I tried it one more time. I was like, okay, maybe. But now it's like, I can do this anytime, anywhere, and nobody can chat to me.
Do you reckon it's because of like age groups though? Like, let's say if he's working with young, hungry teenagers.
Yeah, I remember.
Instead of kids.
Yeah, when I did a sixth form, it was definitely different. Because when I did a sixth form, like they're just before uni.
Yeah.
So it's like they're already kind of mentally switched on. Whereas with kids, it was like, they don't care.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that was my focus group because I want to focus on the people that don't care and make them care. Because remember, if you start early, they got more time to focus on the skill.
Do you focus on the people that do care though?
Do I care about what?
Like, so you said you want to focus on the people who like don't care and don't really know as much. But the question is, do you focus on the people that do care?
Yeah, I focus on everyone. I think it's a thing where my audience is everybody because obviously everyone is open to learn the skill. But I think the message is that for you to change the generation, you need to start as young as possible, innit? Now, if you start as young as possible, it means even tackling those age groups that are not as conscious of the importance of it. Like when we talk about financial literacy and we're like, oh, we need to get this into schools, it's simply because the kids, if they learn the skill now, they could be way better off in the future. Do you get me?
Yeah. Just focusing on the next question then. So obviously in the entrepreneurship journey, especially doing your business in university and also working, have you ever found yourself being kind of like lonely on the journey, as in you're always by yourself? Talk to me about the journey.
Yeah, I get you. I think yes and no. I'll say I think it's a dual answer in the sense that I'll answer yes first in the sense that yes, you feel lonely because the pressure you feel, only you're feeling it. You know, because at the end of the day, nobody told you to go do what you're doing. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like the pressure I'm feeling and that I do feel, only I'm feeling it. So it's like you can feel lonely in that sense, in the sense that I need to pattern this, and if I don't, like I said, things are at risk. But at the same time, if things become at risk, again, it's only me that can solve them. Like obviously, I can tell my family, oh yeah, I'm struggling with X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, it's me who chose this lifestyle. So because I chose this lifestyle, I need to weigh out the risks and be able to handle all of them. So I'll say yes in the sense that I'm the only one that can handle the pressure, and I'm the only one that can solve my problems right now because I put myself in this environment. But no, in the sense that my support system is so strong, so strong. Like I've got real riders in my life, you know. And I think it's a thing where first my own family, They support me day in, day out. Like these lot,
Yeah.
these lot were my cheerleaders when I had nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like they would celebrate every little thing that I did. So when I actually started to get what I'm getting now, it's like, yeah, it was always there. Do you know what I mean? So I always know that I've got an army behind me, especially when it comes to the people that rate me as well for what I do. I always call them, yeah, you lot are my army, man, because it's like these lot really ride out. So it's like, yes, in the sense that the pressure I feel, the stress I feel, the anxiety I might feel, I gotta brave it on my own. But the support system I've got with me makes me feel like now I've got a worthy prize, you know, to keep working for, because these lot that are with me, like, they're worth it. They're worth all the effort I'm putting in.
Have you ever felt the need to, like, because you've put in a lot of time and effort into your craft and making money, so you spend less time with your family. Have you felt like you need to spend time with them? Have you ever rewarded them, paid for something that they really needed? Like,
yeah, so obviously, it's tricky, obviously, to make time sometimes when you're so busy with so many things at once. And it's like, you've got, okay, even if I get rid of uni, something for Codesuite comes up. Even if I get rid of Codesuite, something and my job is waiting for me behind there.
Yeah.
So it's always hard. But when it comes to my family and my close ones, so very recently we went to Central Africa and I paid out for the private villa over there in Zambia for 10 days.
Big man.
Yeah, so it was a thing where it's like, obviously it's difficult to kind of always, because like I said, money comes and goes.
Yeah.
Even if I give you £300 now, £500 or 1K, that's gonna come and go and you'll forget about it. But if I can pay for an experience, you'll remember it in your memory.
Remember it for life.
true,
Do
like,
you know what I'm
just
saying?
did this
So
for me still.
funding towards that holiday meant a lot.
It's a memory.
You know, it really, really did mean, and it left a lasting memory. Met my grandparents for the first time.
Oh,
Obviously,
for real?
yeah, first ever time. Obviously, up
What was
until
that
then,
like? 'Cause
it was just,
that was a mad experience as well.
bro, it was crazy. Up until that point, it was always FaceTime calls. Do you get me? But now it's like,
But throughout your entire life, you never.
never.
To be fair,
So
that
it's
was like me. Met my granddad for the first time last year.
Really?
No,
So it's
not
like-
last year, sorry, 2020. 2020.
That's a,
Yeah,
you meant to say 2020 what, bro?
Bro, it was like 2020. It was at the end of 2019, 2020.
Mm.
But unfortunately, he passed away early this year.
Well,
So at least I saw him before, innit?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'd hear that, bro. Now I think seeing your grandparents is a different feeling. I
Yeah,
think when
it
you
is,
haven't
innit?
seen them before, it's like, first I'm looking at my granddad, it's like he's the father of the dad who inspired me to
Yeah.
do what I'm doing. And it's like, for my dad to be where he is, it's because he got inspired by my granddad. Because my granddad was also an entrepreneur, but in Africa.
okay.
Now,
It runs in the family.
yeah, it kind of runs in the family.
Bloodline.
Yeah, all of them. It's
Bloodline,
funny
yeah.
because my dad is the only person who works. All of my uncles are entrepreneurs, actually.
Okay. So what like do your? That's crazy then. So
Yeah, it's
obviously,
So they all run
entrepreneurship-
businesses of
yeah,
some
that's
sort.
it.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship runs in the family bloodline.
But the thing is,
So
I
what's-
didn't know that, actually.
So what is it your like uncles do then?
So they run, obviously, because they're local to Africa, they run businesses that are, if I could say, more in need to their situation over there. Like a lot of them, they're into flipping cars, flipping trucks,
Yeah.
flipping lorries, stuff like that, property as well. So, yeah, because obviously in Africa, you see things like that, appreciate like mad, because bare people are after it as well. And obviously you can get really good value, especially if we're funding it from here.
Yeah.
They can just flip it like so easily. Do you get me? And then the returns are nuts. Like, I remember I was talking to my cousin, because my cousins as well, like my older cousins are similar. And it's crazy because they're in Africa, but they've got a similar mindset to people that have made it here, in the sense that you can talk about 50,000 like it's nothing. 40,000 like, oh yeah, that's just a bit of cash, simply because they're just,
He knows
do
he's
what I
gonna
mean?
get
Just
it back.
runs, bro. But it's like, I didn't know that till I went there in person. Then I realized, bro, it actually runs through. But my dad never really used to always make it visible that, whoa, your whole family's like this. I don't know whether it was maybe it was intentional. I don't know, just to see how I would how I would grow up. Maybe if I still follow under the same, because I ended up anyway. But I think if you had told me earlier, I probably would have been maybe 10 years deep. Who knows?
Maybe he done it to like kind of ease the pressure a bit.
Maybe ease the pressure as well,
Yeah.
because it is. I think when I went there, then I clocked, whoa, like even my age mate cousins are about it, you know, and they're definitely earning more money than me, and I'll tell you that for
Wow,
sure.
just like that.
Just like,
Entrepreneurs in the
yeah,
family all the
they're
way.
just-
Like that.
It's crazy now. Obviously, seeing all of that, it's like, yeah, these lot, they know. Now, when I met my granddad, it was like his seed is all of these people that I'm seeing that are doing it. So it's like, even when you look him in the eye, he might not say anything, but you already just have that automatic respect for him.
Does that motivate you though? Like, because it's one thing to have like your friend do it, so you're rocking with your friend. Yo, I'm gonna rock with my boy.
But it's like your
But
blood.
like now it's your blood.
Yeah.
Does that inspire you to do more, and become more?
Yeah, because it's like, obviously they're doing bits and they've been doing bits. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And with them, it's like, they might never show face on the internet, but they've got money to prove that they're busy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it pushes me to also, because obviously business in the UK and business in Africa is so different. But regardless, it still makes me feel like, nah, I got people to answer to, you know. And it's like, these are proud and I'm proud of them. So keep pushing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So like, how do you like? So I've already established how busy you are. How do you work with like relationships with your families and like your close friends? How does that work? Like, how do you make time for them exactly?
It is so tricky. And you know what's mad, yeah? Even my messages, even to just reply to a text, I have to mentally tell myself to go out of my way to do it.
How you mean?
It's in the sense of, in simple terms, it's hard. Let me just
Yeah.
put it that way. Keeping up with, you know, your close ones, it is so tricky. And I feel like my family have probably got more used to it recently than before. But I think at the start it was like, oh, we always knew you to be a certain way. Now all of a sudden your lifestyle's changing radically, and the things you're getting up to, like, I could be away from home for 3-4 days simply because I got this to do at this city, then I need to go to this next city here, and then this, that, and the other. Like, already here, I'm out the city for the next few hours. Do you get me? So it's like, it's quite tricky to keep up with, you know, your close ones. But like I said, I try to do things in advance so that when they do want to say, oh, we want to spend time with you, you don't disappoint them. Because at the end of the day, money will come and go, but family will remain forever. And when you lose your parents, you will never get them back again. And that one, you need to bear that in mind forever. Like, I can lose £500 today and I won't sweat because I know I can just close XYZ deal in a couple of weeks and maybe I'll get it back.
Yeah.
If I lose my mum or my dad,
You ain't getting that back.
and people talk about father figures in your life, mother figures, but there's only one set of parents you have. So
Man, it
I
goes
do
to show.
try, I do try to make sure that when it comes to my family, I don't put work before them. Do you get me? I try and make sure that if they want to spend time, cool, we can agree on that at least. Because, bro, your family, yeah, like I said, my biggest support system is my family right now. So if I lose my family, that's my support system out of the gate. Do you know what I mean?
It makes you more vulnerable as
It
well,
makes
man.
me more vulnerable as well.
Yeah.
And then even my own targets are now at risk. So it's like, these lot are what keep me going. So you have to prioritize them, no matter how busy you are, yeah. I think when they say, if you want to, you would make time for what you value.
Man, I'm glad like the way you value family so much, because a lot of, especially a father figure for a son, like especially I know a lot of people, and you see especially in society where there's no father figure, so there's no guidance, no direct path. Hence why they stray to other things that take them off track, that maybe get them in trouble or maybe lead them on the right path. And you just said how your father's basically guided you, set your path, and you basically dominated that path and much more. You get what I'm saying? So that's I hope the people at home listen to like how much important, even if you don't have a father figure, maybe for when it's your time to come to be that father figure, how much of importance of a role you actually play in people's life. Even you can do for like a young cousin who's also a boy as well. So thank you very much for sharing that.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Josh.
Anytime, bro. Always. No, it's just appreciating what's important in your life, because there's certain things that are irreplaceable, innit?
Yeah.
So the things that are irreplaceable, keep them as high priority as possible. Do you know what I'm saying? And then everything else, bro, it will come and go, man. Money will always be there. Like, money will always be printed out. Do you know what I mean? It's just you. It's just you that needs to go find it. But the money you're gonna earn has already been printed. So what are you afraid of? Like, why are you so anxious that, oh, my days, I'm stuck for, I can't pay for, like, it will come. Like, trust me, it will come. But I think it's the mindset, having that abundance mindset, that it's already printed. You just need to go find it. And I always say money is linked to individuals. Find an opportunity that's connected to an individual through networking. The money will come later.
I like that what you just said. Money is connected to individuals.
Yeah, it is.
So the mindset, tell me how, like, because I'm guessing your mindset is the reason what got you into this. So what mindset is it that you exactly have that's so important?
Oh, but there's so many different ones. I can't lie to you. I
Name,
think
name a few and go into depth on one
I think All right, the first one, I'll touch on this one. Money is linked to individual in the sense that money isn't linked to the opportunity, but money is linked to the person who holds the opportunity, if that makes sense. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm trying to apply for a new job.
Yeah.
Maybe they're paying 50,000 a year. And then in my head, I just need to apply for the job and wait for the response. But if you take the mindset I have, which is money is connected to the individual, so that 50k salary is actually linked to a person, not the job itself.
Okay.
So if I maybe DM the manager of that job and strike a relationship, just be like, oh yeah, I saw this job post. Oh no, I saw your profile and I really like what you're doing. Let's hop on a call, build a good relationship. And then with time, you build a friendship. When you build a friendship, then trust becomes a bit more blind in the sense of he trusts everything and anything you say. Because now you have a friendship.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so what are you getting up to? Oh, no, I'm just looking for jobs. Oh, really? We have a job posting, actually.
I hear you.
Man was busting.
Makes sense. Makes
So it's
sense.
like, I wasn't looking for the opportunity. I was looking for the person which the opportunity is linked to. So that's why I always say that money will always be there because there's 7 billion people in the whole world. Are you trying to tell me that you can't find one opportunity out of 7 billion people? Of course you can.
Yeah,
Do
of
you know
course.
what I mean? For me to land on the BBC, I had to be emailed by an individual and then we built a conversation from there and then I landed on it. So I think about it. If I made a relationship with that person beforehand, I would have landed on the BBC anyway. Because they would have found out through my story.
One
Do you
way or
understand?
another.
So even if like let's say I'm making my mission right now. I want to be on Forbes 30 under 30 next year. I'll make it happen. Why? Because I won't think of the task or the opportunity. I'll think of the people I need to connect to. Connect to the right people, build the right relationship, long-term friendship. It's only a matter of time. By the end of next year, I'll be on Forbes 30 under 30.
All right.
Yeah, so
I love that.
money
mindset.
is linked to people, not so much the opportunities. The opportunities will always be there. But always remember, we have over 7 billion people in the whole world. You can definitely strike a relationship that can turn back on you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how I got to where I am today. Relationships. Because for those who don't know, I'm shortlisted for Male Entrepreneur of the Year, right? At the Gen Z Club.
Shout out.
Yeah,
I already voted for you and Rosario.
Shout out for that, innit?
Same,
Now, obviously, the only way people could find out about me is if I first build relationships with them beforehand. Do you understand? I attended 2 Gen Z Club events, one in October last year and one in June this year. Through that, I pitched my business twice. Through that, people are getting to know about me. After the event, I'm building conversations. They start following me. I follow them back. Next thing you know, now there's an award. Who's voted? Joshua Malemba. How?
Okay.
Because every opportunity is linked to people. So in my head, if I situate myself in the right environments, opportunities will always flow into my inbox. I don't chase for them anymore. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is, man.
This guy's a G.
Yeah, this guy is a
Top G.
genius. Dropping the gem, bro.
Top G.
Hey.
Yo.
No, but that's all it is, man.
Talking about all of that though, have you ever felt overwhelmed? Like, do you feel stress?
I feel overwhelmed every day, to be honest with you. Yeah, I just learn how to manage it.
How do you do that?
Yeah. So it's like, obviously, I'm a Christian, innit?
Yeah.
So I pray every day, pray every morning, pray every evening. Kind of just dedicate the day into God's hands and then just say, whatever you had planned for this day, let it happen. So even if a painful event happens that day, you allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
It means you allowed it to happen. So I believe very much that my life, my past, present, and future is in the hands of God. So that's also why I don't have fear of course I have fear of wasting time or maybe not making it. But at the end of the day, if that was God's plan for me, that maybe I end up in this direction, who am I to argue? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest, I feel overwhelmed every single day. You just learn how to manage it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you have any escapes? Like,
yeah, good question. I think for me, definitely, for me to escape, I need to completely disconnect from work in general. Like, I cannot even be, because like I said, I code at uni, code at my job, and I code for my business too. So if I want to escape, I need to be completely disconnected from work in general. Now, obviously, first of all, I mentioned I'm a Christian, so obviously I go to church during the week. So that's like 2 hours when I'm not even thinking about work. And I'm in an environment where I can like offload like stress and overwhelming emotions. So that is a great and perfect escape. That's number one. Number two, again, spending time with family as well. That's a big one as well. You know, doing day outings, or whether it's like going out to eat, even with close ones as well. And, you know, just like, I think just living in the present as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just living in the present and just enjoy the moment. But yeah, I feel like when you get to a certain stage of entrepreneurship, stress will be a normal emotion. It won't be strange anymore. It will be normal, but you just learn how to cope with it. Because like right now, I could be exceptionally stressed, but because I know how I want to handle it, it's like, cool, just implement my plan and it's cool. And then you get to the end of the day, you realize, all right, we got through it. It was tricky, but
We did it.
we did it. Do you know what I mean? And then that feeling is like a dopamine hit to feel like we can do this again. Do you know what I mean? Then the next day comes, then you go. But yeah, stress, I think you get to a certain stage where it's a normal emotion. The same way eating and drinking water every day is a normal thing. It's like stress and overwhelming. I must have woke up, I think it was on Monday. I woke up and I think I lied in bed. I was like, nah, this is taking the mick. This is taking the mick, bro. This is taking the mick. But again, you just learn to kind of just live with it.
So just get over it.
Just get over it. And it's, whatever happens, like, at the end of the day, your emotions is not going to change the situation. But if you do what you got to do, the situation will change. Because this is only going to be for a period of time.
Yeah.
Because you're going to cross that moment when now everything is just automated.
Yeah.
Everything is just, it's just there generating your flow of income. But right now, it's like I need to be, in a way, up and down to make things happen, which is normal because in a way we're still on the come up. Everyone is.
Yeah.
But I think that assurance, knowing that this is only for a period of time, gives me reassurance that it will be over soon. You know, it's only a season at the end of the day. But, you know, things have been positive and things will only get more positive, God willing. So, yeah, man. Literally.
Yeah, and that's the aim, just to think long term. Because
Long term, man.
if you're thinking long term, then you'll be like, okay, I can push through this stress, and eventually I won't need to do this anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
As you said, it will be passive, automated, and yeah, you can live the life that you
I
always
think you
wanted to
I think
live.
you always have to think ahead for you to not crumble anyway. Because
Yeah.
sometimes if you look at it with naturalize your current situation, you can get so discouraged.
Yeah, you can get swallowed
You
easily.
can get swallowed. But if you think that it's only till this moment and then this will happen, it'll be like, okay, let's just work towards that climax and then it'll become.
Would you say like so just everything, just going off what everything you said, would you say like mentally you're very well able to control your emotions and your thoughts? Because like you just said, a lot of people can think of a situation and be discouraged and think, nah, forget this, man, I'm not feeling. So how is it that you've built such like, I want to say a mental fortitude?
Mental endurance. Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, I have no choice but to, because I have 3 very dependent entities in my life.
Yeah.
My whole job.
Is that a do or die mindset though?
Do or die, yeah, probably. In the sense of, it's either I survive or I don't. Do you get me? Like, it's either I get through this or I roll into some next mental breakdown. And nobody wants to go down that route. So I'm definitely going down this route instead.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So it's like, I've got my whole job here. This is like my P's. I've got my degree. This is like my grades. And it's a reflection to my clients of how good I really am at my job. Then I've got my business, which is my brand. So for me I need to be mentally you just need to get through it. It's either we get through this or we get through this. There's no other option.
So how would you like recommend, because it sounds like you've done it, you basically mastered it. So to anyone watching at home who may like trying to start balance a business and balance like a 9 to 5 and also may have other things going on, how would you recommend to them how to build that solid mental fortitude?
I think it depends how, you know what? There was a quote actually, I can't remember who said it, but it's like, you need to get to a point when the situation is as critical as breathing. You know when you're in the water and you're underneath, like you're gasping for air, right? So you'll get that fight or flight mechanism and it activates. And then like you get some next strength to reach right up at the top of the ocean, which you never thought you ever had, simply because you've reached that fight or flight mechanism. So it's a thing where sometimes the situation needs to become a bit critical for you to realize what you can actually handle. Now I think for me, before I came back to uni, it was just my business and my job. So it was like, got time to procrastinate a little bit. And maybe my mental fortitude wasn't as strong because it's like, I'm not forced to be that strong.
Yeah.
But now that I'm like in a chokehold almost, it's like I have no choice but to survive. Now that is the fight or flight mechanism. It kind of activates subconsciously.
Yeah.
That you just feel like, if I don't make it through this, I'm screwed. And you can list so many different things that will incrementally be destroyed simply because you didn't make it. So it's like, nah, I can't let that happen. So it's like a trade-off. You just compare what's that risk? What is the cost of me not making it? If the cost is outweighing the benefit of not making it, let me just go for it. And you just go for it, bro. I don't know. It's just a thing.
I know exactly what
I don't know
you're
what
saying.
it is. Yeah, I don't really
understand
know
you
what, because
perfectly,
I understand what you're saying.
because
100%,
I never really sat down and thought, these are the things on the line, so I'm gonna pursue it. I never reached that moment. You kind of just subconsciously reach that overdrive,
Yeah.
and then you just
So like, would you even say like, hey, based on everything you said, it's solid. Like you don't need. So I'm gonna say, do you even have like a why besides the image? Because usually, like, for example, some people have like a why, like, oh, I gotta get my family out of here. I gotta do more for this person. Is there a specific why besides your quality and brand?
I think my why is just I just think of the word revolution. I just want to revolutionize. Like when you think of revolution, like the 2023 revolution was led by Codesuite. Like I just want to. That is the idea. Do you get me? Like the revolution of the industry was pioneered by Joshua Malemba, the founder of Codesuite. So revolutioning the industry and revolutioning education as well. Because one big message I'm pushing out lately is the way we communicate to the kids will determine the impact you leave on them. Because remember, the attention span is bare short, you know. That's why TikTok is succeeding. Simply because the attention span is short, innit? So it's like, we're not communicating to the students in the way they would understand. So that's why we lose them. That's why they go in directions which we don't want them to. Because we've lost them in the school system. So I'm trying to change that, revolutionize the way we educate and the way the industry is running. I want to pioneer both of them at the same time.
So would you say that's your purpose?
That is my purpose, yeah.
Repeat it for them one more time. What's your purpose?
Yeah, my purpose is to revolutionize the industry, the educational system, and the next generation in general, to be honest with you. I think particularly the next generation, like, I just want to see a whole new batch of individuals, and I know it's because of me that I did that.
Yeah.
Get me?
Yeah.
So it's because of me and my idea and the vision I had in my head. So
Definitely.
Yeah,
dude.
definitely.
Leicester hero.
yeah, the Leicester Superman.
Leicester
I think that's gonna be the
Superman.
title. That's the title.
The Superman of Leicester. You get
Leicester
me?
Yeah,
Superman.
man.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Leicester
man.
Superman. Yeah,
Yeah,
rock with
that's how we do it. So
Yeah.
So on this podcast, we have a tradition. This is going to be one of our final questions.
right.
So the final question is coming from our previous guest,
Right.
Ours event.
Which you know, also a contender of Male Entrepreneur of the Year.
You also work with him as well.
Yeah, I work with him as well.
There's a lot of competition. His question to you was, do you think AI would take over in the future? As in, everything will be coded into robots and they can either, like I said, whenever there's a utopia, there's a dystopia. So you have the good size of what AI can do and also the bad side of which AI can do. What do you think AI would do the most?
I definitely think the positives will definitely outweigh, but there will be negatives too.
Okay, touch on the negatives and then I
Right.
want to know why, and then we'll touch on the goods.
So the negatives is, of course, AI, as I explained to you, with like the trading bots, the scraping bots, all of that stuff. The computer performs better than humans when you tell it to do the right thing. People don't know. People don't actually know that. But when
I've
you
never
tell
heard that one still.
yeah, if
Can
you
you
tell the
repeat that
computer to do
again?
the right thing, if you tell the computer to do the right thing, it will perform it better than humans, and people don't know that. So
Give me an example.
But that has to be in strict environments, isn't it?
let me give. Let
It's
me.
like,
gi-
wouldn't that be like under tight circumstances?
In which sense? What do you mean by that?
Okay, like some things require
That's true.
emotional
That's true.
feelings.
Yeah,
and
there's certain
emotional things,
context.
you
There's
understand?
certain context. Yeah, I think when it comes to, I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say the trading bot that I gave an example for, right?
Yeah.
If I set my strategy correctly, I set my stop losses the right way, my profit targets, my bot will definitely make money because I've told it to do what I want it to do, and I've set the targets and I've set the limit as well. So why shouldn't it make money? Because with obviously computers work at the speed of light. You understand? So the accuracy is 100%. and the speed is 100% as well. Computers, I mean, we can't behave that quickly. We'll put a trade, we'll probably go brush our teeth. By the time we come back, we're down.
Hey.
Do you understand? But a computer, because you've told it the limit, it's like, all right, cool. When it starts heading the other direction, the moment it picks up that
gone.
it stops
Or it
immediately.
sounds-
Immediately. So
Okay.
there's certain areas where AI will definitely take over and replace humans. But as you said, there's certain contexts where emotional intelligence is needed. Of course, that's where humans will still have an upper hand. Now, the negatives is obviously the areas where AI will take over would mean, obviously, people out of jobs and stuff like that. But you could say that could be a catalyst for people to learn how to code so that they can get into the industry too. So it depends how you look at it. But predominantly, let's say the way we've got self-checkout and stuff like that now. That's obviously means there's less staff on the floor now in a supermarket. That's just already like a preview to show that when a computer does something, it does it to the T. As long as you tell it to do it right.
Yeah.
Of course, context dependent.
Yeah.
Where emotions are not needed. When it's just down to accuracy, attention to detail, you best believe you can't compete.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like AI would take over the world? As in, like Terminator kind of thing?
Nah.
My bad. I'm just...
It can't simply because there always has to be some kind of maintenance somewhere.
As in somewhere humans in control.
Let me give you an example, right? You use software for the things you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
At some point there's an update that's needed. Because
Okay.
if you don't update it, there's gonna be bugs. And if those bugs get into the code, your code will underperform. So there has to be someone to maintain it to an extent.
But what if bug gets into the code and now this AI is
I
now
was about to say.
unable to be stopped?
Yeah, as in the AI.
And he goes wrong.
takes over.
I get what you mean. So that's not possible. Let me put that.
Why is that
But
not
no,
possible?
but like my editing software, there's times where I have to force quit because it's not closing. It's not listening to me.
I get what
So
you mean.
what if the robot just stops listening, bro? Won't close.
I don't know how to explain it, but like there's only some like the computer still depends on us anyway.
Yeah, true.
Like it does have a mind of its own when you tell it to do the right thing, but it still does depend on us to an extent. So it can never fully reach a Terminator standard where we can't control nothing.
So just building on AI, do you think, probably yourself or someone you know, or maybe in the future, do you think somebody could code a specific AI so powerful that it could maybe do a lot more or function better than humans in a mental aspect?
In which you'd have to give me an example.
Like the AI is so intelligent, it's more intelligent than human beings itself.
The thing is, it's funny because it's like a chicken and the egg situation in the sense that the robot will only be to an extent as quote unquote intelligent as the person who coded it.
Okay.
Do you get me?
So what if like 50 masterminds of the world came together? So we're gonna create this AI intelligence. We're gonna work with somebody who maybe understands the human brain very well, someone who maybe understands the world very well, someone who maybe understands such and such science very well. And let's say, do you think if they all came together to code this super artificial intelligence, do you think that's possible? And then that thing could go, maybe, who knows? I'm thinking bigger.
Yeah,
I'm thinking out
obviously,
loud.
it's possible though. It's possible, and there are certain scenarios where it could perform better than humans. Now, the problem is, I think for me, it's because of the aspect of emotional intelligence that there's certain things where humans just perform better simply because of the soft skills. It's not just the hard skills of, okay, you have X amount of knowledge, you can do this very well, but the personality is not there.
Yeah,
If your personality is not there, it doesn't change anything.
I get
Do
you.
you know what I mean? So,
Get you.
because you could be, I don't know how to put it this way, but I want to, when I'm trying to think of a good example. But if you have two people, right?
Yeah.
One person is super, super good at what he does. The second person is maybe half as good, but the second person is a team player. You get along really well. You'd still 9 times out of 10 probably choose the second person, just simply because you can work better with him, and he's just nicer to be around.
Yeah.
So when it comes to AI, they might be able to perform certain jobs better than humans, but usually like lack of emotional intelligence, there will always be limitations anyway.
Okay, this
You
is
get
my
me?
final question. This is an interesting topic. Could okay, let's say there's certain things that recognize emotional intelligence and also facial features. So like, let's say your iPhone, for example, it's smart enough to recognize your face
When
and
you're
the
happy inside
details,
and
or
stuff like that.
or even you get what I'm saying. So I know it's smart enough. So do you feel like if it's able to recognize it, do you not think one day it could be able to design its own like emotion itself in a
I
way?
see what you mean. The thing is, like I
As
said,
in, what I mean by that is like, as in, it's able to kind of like develop human characteristics.
You think
in-
your
in
iPhone
AI.
camera is going to develop?
No,
human
I'm not.
characteristics?
I'm not saying the thing. I'm saying, could AI ever advance, become so
okay.
advanced it's able to have an emotional intelligence itself
Okay, yeah.
of its
what you
own?
there will always be limitations, bro. Let me just put it that way. There will
So that
always
will
be-
never happen.
there
No,
will
not
always
never say never.
I mean,
but-
not saying never, but like obviously there can be progress made, but it will
Yeah.
never be the same as us because
It's
to an
been
extent, even with humans, you discover new emotions sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah,
it feels
yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? So
You reckon it'd be okay? I hear what you're saying about
because like
limited.
with robots, right? It will be a thing where, okay, they just have the main emotions, happy and sad. But what about confused? What about anxious?
Yeah.
What about stressed?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What about sympathetic intelligence, not just emotional? Like, can you put a robot here and give me mental health advice?
That's what I was thinking, because that's
Do you know what I mean?
so like jobs like therapists and everything, a robot couldn't really
No.
do
could
that
never do
because
that. Could
yeah.
never do that. So
But
there
like
will always be limitations.
manual labor
anyway.
jobs.
Yeah, maybe
to a
manual
certain
labor.
extent.
Maybe
Yeah,
yeah, to
when it
certain
comes to
extent.
manual tasks and the mundane tasks, AI will definitely get involved. But when it comes to areas which require emotions, understanding,
Emotional intelligence,
sympathetic and emotional intelligence, there's only so much you can do.
that's amazing.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. So
Josh, man.
yeah,
It's amazing
It's
to have
amazing,
you on
bro.
this podcast, man. But we're gonna have to wrap things up. This, yeah, we're gonna have to.
Definitely a part two.
But
Nah,
you are
definitely.
definitely making a comeback, bro.
I'm down, man.
And I'm excited to see what you have coming in 2023.
I'm down, bro.
I think the whole world is. I can't lie.
I'm down, man. Nah,
Man's
man,
got
appreciate
Leicester
you
in
lot.
his hands.
Leicester Superman, you know. Leicester Superman.
Hey.
Nah, I appreciate you lot having me on, man. It's been a great talk for real, man. I enjoyed it still.
All right, we'd
Thank
like to
you,
say
thank you.
thank you very much, Josh, for coming on. This means
Anytime,
a lot.
man.
For anyone at
Anytime.
home,
Mhm.
make sure you check out Codesuite. If you're
Check me out,
interested in coding, definitely an in-demand skill. You've heard the opportunities provided
Yeah.
in Rosario Academy and Codesuite itself.
Mm.
Make sure you guys check both of them out.
And you heard the numbers it can make you. 6 figures.
And
Easy. 6 months.
Telling you guys, Josh is one tap away. Instagram,
Hey.
one tap away from being a message. So besides that, Josh, thank you very much for jumping on the CEO
Thanks
of
for
you.
having me, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you lot, man.